you and your mom had that conversation.
Oh, yeah, we talk about
Just let her know I'm here to look after you. If she happens to leave before I do, there's a good chance I'll be going first. But
yeah, because I'm not afraid to have those discussions.
welcome everybody to How You Livin. I'm Robin B.
I'm Dr. Kiva.
And this is the show that delves into the 9 dimensions of wellness.
Yes, we're all about wellness and living your best life.
Absolutely. How you doing, Dr. Keith?
I am well, and yourself?
I'm good, thank you. So what's today's topic?
Today we're going to talk ageism.
Ooh.
One of those isms.
Near and dear.
Near and dear. And how we kind of can discriminate and assume things about the elderly.
And that came up about because something recent.
Yeah, because we're getting ready to go into election. It's an election year, and we keep hearing about, oh, Joe Biden, he's just too old. He's just too old. So we wanted to really kind of delve into that aspect of ageism, how we make assumptions about people based on their age.
That's good. And the impact it has.
Exactly,
right.
exactly. Yeah,
Right.
because ageism is discrimination or prejudice against individuals based on their age.
And nothing else.
And nothing else. And making this, this notion or this assumption about who they are as we age. And to really base all discrimination based on age or gender or any other factors, this ageism is a form of bias.
That's true. And you see that it's very prevalent in like corporate America.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my goodness. That's a big deal. Really is. And so absolutely in politics, remember the story? This is very... I think this is very relevant because there was a time early on in the campaign where Nikki Haley was talking about the 2 guys were too old, 75, and what did Don Lemon? He ended up getting fired because he said she's past her prime as well.
Yes,
and she was 51 at the time, so, and what is he, 45?
Yeah, but I think that was more sexism on his part.
Yeah,
too,
he said she's past her prime, and who is he to say 51? And I could slap him for that.
Yeah, I think that was, because everyone ages differently, right?
Exactly.
It depends on how active you are, depends on your diet.
Right.
And so you can't say that one person who is a certain age that it's going to go across the board for everybody.
That's true because Biden is more cognitively in good shape than a lot of people 20 years younger than him who've been eating fast food all their lives because we know he rides his bike, he likes to jog, he falls down, but all things considered.
We all do. There's
I've had falls.
I've fallen. I had a patient the other day with a huge bruise on her 20-year-old thigh.
Oh my goodness!
Because she fell in the closet.
Oh my goodness! Okay, I won't even ask how that happened. But you have a very good point. You cannot judge someone based on their age alone.
But do you think that in today's society, the plus and minuses, especially with social media,
right,
and with computers and all the younger generation able to get on social media a lot faster, that also kind of put more ageism. Discrimination out there also.
Absolutely. I mean, social media almost rules our world these days. And if you're not with it on that, you're definitely considered out of touch. I saw something yesterday, it was like a meme or something, that a young person, a Gen Xer, had on her...
I'm a Gen Xer, I think you mean millennials.
Okay, millennial. See, I don't know the difference. Apparently I don't. What's the Gen Y? YZ?
I just know I'm Gen X.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So it
was a millennial.
The millennials.
I thought X because we were close to the end of...
No, you have the baby boomers, and then you have Gen X.
I'm a boomer. Okay, so she had it labeled as old people apps, and it was Facebook, it was Instagram, Gmail. I'm like, that's a damn shame.
It is, and I think that also plays a lot in how we look at, say, the president compared to the person who's trying to become president, is that we don't base it on knowledge.
Right.
We base it on age, and then we want someone with a big personality that shows up on social media, and that's where they're kind of drawn to. Right. So the impact of ageism as we get older is those facing negative stereotypes and assuming a lot about someone's age.
Absolutely.
Like they're not... less capable or valued than a younger person. And I think that says a lot for even when you go to the different industries.
Yeah.
how the managers are so young, and so they need to have that experience of wisdom there also.
You're right. In corporate America, most of the bosses of the boomers just got out of college. I mean, that's the way it is right now. And that is just, everything is completely flipped.
It's something to be said about wisdom.
It sure is. Of course it does. Yeah. So that's why our country's going, south.
It's wild, because if you think about the frontal lobe, where you have reasoning, doesn't develop until you're 25.
Exactly.
And then your brain is still developing until you're in your 30s. So it's like your brain is developing and you don't even have reasoning. So you have lack of wisdom. But then when you get older, you have the wisdom, but then they don't want you in the workplace because they may be discrimination about you being older.
That's 100% true. So, and what other industries are affected that you could think of? We know Hollywood. We know that entertainment, and this is why so many celebrities, butcher their faces trying to keep up.
Stay young. Yeah. Trying to stay young. It was I saw something on YouTube, and it was Gabrielle Union, and it was a younger girl who looked just like her, who was in that show. What was it, Star or something?
Okay, Star.
Yeah, and it was a little pretty black girl that looks just like, and she was like the younger her. So that would cause someone to say, "Oh goodness, I'm the older person now, so now I better go out and do all these different treatments and all this just to try to compete." Right. Especially as women, I think we get it harder.
Oh, we definitely get it harder
than men growing old. They look distinguished. We look old.
Yeah, they can have gray hair and a gray beard and all of that looks great.
Oh, that's hot.
Women have a gray beard. You gotta pluck that sucker.
If you have gray hair, you're gonna dye it.
Absolutely.
But men can have gray hair, and it's like, oh, he sees a zaddy.
Yeah, he's a zaddy.
He's a zaddy.
Did I tell you there's a restaurant in Atlanta called Zaddy? Oh my God.
Was it all older men?
I took a picture of it. No, actually, no. But I don't know why they named it that. I had to take a picture of that because it was hilarious. I love that phrase. It was probably owned by a zaddy, and he probably bought it for his girlfriend.
Exactly. And actually, so we talked about employment discrimination. There's healthcare disparities also. So, as healthcare providers, they can be biased on the treatment or dismissive on what's going on with someone who's older.
That's true.
Or they just throw drugs at you. Someone who comes in, they're older, they have this, take this pill, take this pill. Before you know it, you have someone taking a handful of medication because of that healthcare disparities.
You nailed it. My mom has a friend. Now, I think everybody knows my mom is on she's on one medication, everything else she does supplement. But she has a friend who does the bingo. I know I'm getting somewhere with this. And so she spends a lot of time in the hospital and found out that she's on like 13 different medications. And to your point, once they're at a certain age, doctors just throw medications at them. Exactly. And they think doctors are the end-all, be-all.
Yeah, because they're believing like, well, the doctor told me this. It's like, well, you don't have to take this, and this.
That's right.
But that could be a part of healthcare disparities for the elderly.
100% medical. So that's the medical profession is affected.
And then we have social isolation. So as we get older, of course we get a little more lonely, and we have this negative stereotype about aging and not having a community engagement.
Right. That's good. And that's why those community centers are great. And that's why in the senior living, that's so awesome. I keep volunteering, saying, let me go do bingo while the lady's in the hospital. I'll be happy to do bingo because they need that social interaction. But there's some kind of rule that they don't let outside people do bingo. That's crazy. I had no idea why not. So my mom lives for bingo. It's twice a week. That's the only thing she got going, in the building. So there's nothing going on right now. You are 100% right.
Yeah, and I just think that we need to be like, you would think that back in the days that you respected the elders in the village. That's where you got your wisdom. And so maybe that's part of our issues now. We don't respect the elders to get the wisdom that we need.
Look at this. The elders of that generation are fading out. Now the grandmothers are getting younger and younger and younger. So they can't be considered ancestors, because they're pretty much, younger than mostly everybody. Exactly. So we are losing that wisdom. We are definitely losing a generation of wisdom.
To teach us how to plant.
Yeah.
Seasons. To teach us all those old home remedies.
Common sense.
And common sense.
Just good common sense.
That's not common.
It is no longer common. You are absolutely right. So the social aspect is very important. And what else do you got over there?
Well, that's it for me over here with employment, healthcare, and social isolation.
Those are enough because society really doesn't put the value on age the way they should.
Exactly. So with employment discrimination, what do you think someone elderly can do? Especially because if they're not employing you, you need some income.
Exactly. And the problem is they're not paying attention. There is a law, okay, the employment law, that is completely ignored by the employers. It says we do not discriminate against age, sex, blah, blah, blah. That is not true.
So what do you think is a side hustle that someone elderly can do?
There's so many. Start a YouTube channel. There are so many things that, I mean, really, if the elderly or older citizens have a talent, like they do crochet or whatever, you could try to make some money that way.
Or if you are a retired teacher, or if you know some skill, you can actually go online and teach.
That's true.
You can probably charge maybe $250 an hour, or maybe $250 a day or so, just teaching online. And if you don't have that background, you can teach. They have, you can teach languages.
Right.
Well, you really just speak English to people overseas. But you can teach them
exactly.
And then I think that maybe pays you about $20 an hour, so you can do that at home. Hopefully, you understand how to work a computer. But I'm thinking the elderly now, they're pretty computer savvy.
Yeah, my mom has learned how, my sister taught her, but she does her crosswords on her computer now.
Exactly.
So you can do crossword puzzles on your laptop, and that gives you something to do, because her fingers were starting to get tight.
Right, but for employment, you definitely can teach online.
Oh, you sure can. Yeah, and you, like you said, you can teach English to any
exactly
international
and
person.
Then for other employment, what else would possibly be out there? Because the good thing is that you can do things at
There's
home.
always the Walmart greeter.
If you feel like standing up for long periods of time.
That's
for sure.
But yeah, there are things you could do at home.
And like you said, even if you do know how to crochet, you can even teach that.
You can teach it. Right, that's why I said YouTube there's a lot of things. You can do recipes. A lot of times I'll go to YouTube for recipes, and it's, older people who have a wonderful following, and once you get a certain following, you can start monetizing.
Yeah, but I think there's platforms where you can actually, people come, like if you want to learn a language, you have to go to a certain platform and pay to get on that platform. So it's not going through YouTube, it's not you're waiting for it.
Okay.
So that's something you can do. There's people that actually, depends on where you live, charge for you to park in their garage.
Really? In their house garage?
Yeah, so say you live in the city, and you live in the middle of downtown or something,
New
York, and say you have 2 parking spots, you can charge someone to use that second parking spot.
That's good thinking. I love that. I never knew that, but that's a really good idea.
Yeah, you can make
if you're an older person who drives, what's that called? There's this service now. It's like Uber, but you're renting out your own car, and my sister uses it. Well, she's used it before, so that's easy. If you're home most of the time, but you own a car, there's some money for you right there.
Exactly. So there's ways to make money as the elderly, and for healthcare disparities. What would you suggest? What would you tell someone elderly as far as healthcare disparities when they're communicating with their health care provider?
I would tell them to give me a call, because I'd be happy to tell them there are alternatives to medication. I really am I feel very strongly about that.
And also, when they go visit their doctor, tell them, I'm calling a friend, I'm calling a family member, so they can also hear this conversation.
Absolutely.
Because it's nothing worse than you go into the doctor and they're telling you things, but you don't remember.
That's good thinking.
And then you're like, oh, they told me this. Like, hey, I'm calling my daughter, I'm calling my friend, so they can hear exactly what you're telling me right now.
And in the state of Texas, it is a one-party state, so you can record. And a lot of times the doctor will say, yeah, it's fine. Right. You can record your entire doctor's appointment.
Exactly.
And that way your family members can hear exactly what happened. That's very good.
So if they're giving you all this medication, you can say, no, my mom is taking this. I don't think that goes with that. So
I have been down that road a million times.
So they don't have to be by themselves, and they'll have an advocate to speak for them.
That's very good. That's really smart.
And of course, eat healthy.
Yeah, I mean, that's really number one, because you are what you eat. Look at Trump. He eats burgers every day, and now he's sighing in his speech. Yeah, I know you must have seen it. It's gone viral.
No, I don't, because
he's garbling and he goes, in the middle of the street. Oh, my God.
His heart is working
Saturday Night
hard.
Live did something on that last night.
And then for, like you said, for social isolation,
yeah.
hopefully you can, if you do knit and do those things, you can join groups of other people that are doing that also.
Right.
There's a lot of senior citizen centers where you can go and just have conversations with other seniors.
And they have a lot of them have transportation.
Exactly.
But there's also, if you're local, there's Metrolift. So there are a lot of city programs where you can get free transportation.
Exactly,
well.
Exactly. So there's
ways
that we can kind of have seniors be healthy and happy and enjoy growing older.
Absolutely.
Not getting old, just growing
older. And I call it pro-age, not anti-aging.
Pro-age?
Pro-aging.
Things that are,
you're advocating for aging. Because we're all going to go there.
We're all
we're lucky.
We're all going to go. We want, and when we get there, we want everyone to be respectful of us, so we need to be respectful of our seniors and get some of that knowledge and wisdom that your seniors have.
That's great. That's great. So you presented us with the problem and you gave us many solutions.
Oh, well, thank you.
And that's the key to living well, right?
That's the key to living well.
That's the key.
Oh, you're welcome.
Nailed it again. So I think that does it for this particular.
That does it for
that's
us.
beautiful because that affects every single citizen. We're all going to age.
Exactly. So if you have any suggestions of how we can get our information for aging, where can they email us?
They can email us at HowYouLivin1111. That's HowYouLivin, no G, 1111 at Gmail. And they can also comment on any of our platforms.
Exactly.
Whether it's our YouTube channel or any of our podcast platforms. And also on our social media, which is How You Live in Houston, and that is on Instagram and Facebook.
Easy breezy.
So we hope to hear from you guys. Please support us. We're trying our best to bring you all news you can use. And in the meantime, we're going to ask our people, how you living? Peace.
Live your life. Live your life. Wave your light in the air. Wave like you just don't care. Wave like you're feeling good. Wave your life for your hood. Wave your life.